And for more on a Game 7 in the NBA, we welcome in Bill Reiter, CBS Sports NBA insider. Bill, it was a game until it kind of wasn't a game anymore. Oklahoma City ran away with this thing. How impressive and how surprising is it that they were able to do that to the Nuggets here?
Remarkably impressive, and I think a little bit surprising, Russ. I mean, one of the big questions with the Thunder, we know that they're the best team in the regular season. They're the one elite of three regular season teams remaining in this postseason. What we didn't know is when they got punched in the face, when the going got tough, when they had to live up to the pressure and the expectations that all get mingled together when you're this good and you're in a Game 7, how would they perform? And the fact they had maybe their best game of the year at the most important time of the year, I think it speaks volumes about the fact that their excellence in the regular season is clearly translating and will probably continue to translate here in the playoffs.
And we'll continue to talk about Oklahoma City, obviously, when we preview the Western Conference Finals. But first, let's say a couple words about the Nuggets, who changed coaches, and in the offseason, they might have to look for a new GM as well as a new head coach. What is the outlook now for a team that maybe is starting their offseason, maybe even a little bit later than some of us might have thought, considering how chaotically the season ended?
It's problematic. There's not enough. I mean, let's put so we're gonna those lists you make of good and bad when you have to make a decision. Good, Nikola Jokic. Bad or problematic, everything else. I mean, Michael Porter Jr. is paid like a star, Russ. He did not perform like that even remotely over the course of this postseason. Jamal Murray was less consistent than he's been in the playoffs, and several of the games they lost, he just wasn't able to play at the level that they needed him to get to. Their depth on that team, particularly the bench, is not what you need and what you want if you're going to compete for a championship. It's not the level they had a couple years ago outside of Christian Brown. Not a lot of the guys improved or made those jumps up that they needed to, and they don't have a very flexible cap situation. So whoever gets that job as general manager, whoever replaces the recently fired in the regular season Calvin Booth, has a task on their hands. Because on the one side, if you have Jokic, you have a championship window. On the other, in the NBA now with the CBA, and especially in the West, because the West is so crowded and so good, you cannot make mistakes on the contracts you give people. You have to be able to operate in the margins in terms of depth. They just don't have the right group around Jokic, and it's easier said than done to fix that, Russ. But they're going to have to find a way, whoever's in charge of the front office this summer.
It's amazing how small the margins are. Here's a look at the bracket now, because you got Thunder and T-Wolves on the western side. We'll get to Pacers and Knicks in the east in a second, but Thunder and T-Wolves facing off in the Western Conference Finals. And Bill, I got to say, from an objective observer, seems about right, actually, with the way these two teams are playing at the moment. How would you handicap that series?
I mean, look, I'm probably, when prediction time rolls around, going to take the Timberwolves because they were in the Western Conference Finals last year. I think as great as Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has been, he was amazing in this closeout game. I still think Anthony Edwards has another level, just a little bit higher level he can get to. But I don't feel as good about that as I did 2 hours ago, Russ. These are two teams that are both top 10 in offensive and defensive rating. And the Thunder were better in both of those categories. That's why they were the 1 seed and the Timberwolves were the 6 seed. But this is a hell of a matchup. You've got two legitimate superstars in Ant and SGA. The Thunder are deeper, but it's not to say that the Timberwolves don't have some depth. Julius Randle has been outstanding. Now, I won't go through the whole roster, but these are two really good teams. I think it'll come down to whether or not Minnesota can generate enough offense against really the best defense in the NBA. We just saw the Thunder hold in a critical game, Denver, to whatever it was, 93 points. There have been times where Minnesota has struggled offensively over the course of this postseason. If Anthony Edwards can be more efficient in his shooting, he's had some shooting struggles. I think it's a heck of a series. I don't know who's going to win, but I tell you what, both these teams are more than capable of winning the whole thing, not just the series against each other. It's not one of these fluke runs like we saw from the Atlanta Hawks a few years ago. Both these teams deserve to be here, and both of these, they can get past the other, are good enough to cut down the nets here in June.